are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
Welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Of course, I'm your host, Lance Migliaccio, with my co-host, George Ballantine. It's tip of the spear, and if liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. You know, the plan each and every single episode here on this show is to educate and unify the country. And of course, look for all the top stories and the top information so you can make good decisions, educated decisions. You can protect yourself and your loved ones. That's what we really try to focus on. George B., how are you, man? What's going on, brother?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You know, another day, another dollar. I'm going to say hump day because everybody cries when I say hump week, so I'll say hump day.
I don't know that everybody cries. I think I'm the only dope person that gives you a hard time. But, man, a lot going on as usual. A lot in the news cycle, of course. Davos, those globalists getting together, trying to decide your future. And I think it's interesting when you look at the globalists, you look at like BlackRock, and you have to keep this in mind. I saw a post yesterday, and I had to say something about it. I think it's interesting that BlackRock invited, because of course they're a key supporter of Davos, and they invited. That didn't sound like a good fuck, George. It sounded like
nothing. We're fine. Just go.
Okay. Davos. BlackRock invited, Larry Fink invited Donald Trump as his keynote speaker. And Donald Trump accepted. I always think you have to keep things like that in mind. I'm not telling you I'm not a Trump supporter. I am. I think this administration is better than many and most. They're doing a good job on certain areas. Fantastic. They're not good at doing a good job at the Department of Justice, but there are other areas going really well. But just keep that in mind when you're looking at the feeds and you're looking at information. When you're educating yourself, don't just make assumptions. Think about the fact that he got invited to a globalist event where they want to talk about what the rest of us should be doing, why they fly around in their private jets, and they make billions of dollars on the decisions that are made there, inside information about what they're going to do next. And that Donald Trump went there to speak. Now, I know he's trying to move his agenda along on Greenland, as what he says it's about. I've heard behind the scenes that there may already very, very well be a deal on Greenland. But again, just that's one of those things I just want to give you a little heads up on. Now, if you like the show, don't forget to thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to join the chat. We'd love to have you in there. All the people that are new here to the show, thank you so very much. We've been getting lots and lots of followers. We appreciate that. And of course, the people that are sharing the live link, Melody and many others, thanks for doing that. Doing that live link during the show really helps bring people, new viewers in. So I think it's a great way to do it. Let's kick it off. If you'd like to sponsor the show, you can hit us up at info@thebigmig.com. In the meantime, silver and gold, what can I say? Silver, man, I think it's going to top $100. I don't know if it hasn't already done it. I didn't check it this morning. Usually I do. It is on a move like nothing else. 62.2 gram prepper bar by Genesis Gold Group, perforated, easily broken down into your choice of 3 separate denominations to fit a multitude of needs. I don't care whether it's asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its very unique utility for barter and trade. The prepper bar makes a perfect gift for all those precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively mined and minted in the great US of A, selling out fast as always. But they do have both in stock right now. You can get them. You get the assay report, like I said, which, of course, you don't have to worry about any counterfeit gold coming out of Genesis Gold Group. Fits neatly in your wallet, very thin. This one's in a plastic case to protect it, but, of course, it's not very big. If you get in a tough situation, you can see those 3 different denominations. Snap off a small piece, make a payment, thebigmigbar.com or 888-526-7154. That's 888-526-7154. Or you can use the QR code George did for you. Take a snapshot, go there later. Promo code PREPPER. All caps, PREPPER. That's PREPPER. That'll get you 10% off on the silver, 5% off on the gold, thebigmigbar.com.
All right.
Well, no jingle.
No.
Throwing me off. I'm just expecting the jingle. I had a pause there. I waited for you. All right. Well, here we are. Pretty serious topic. So White Coast Waste is the ones that came up and found this out, which, we've had them on the show before. And we appreciate all the work they've done with saving animals. This is strange to me. You would think this would be big news. So there's a biolab. It's up in Montana. It's called Rocky Mountain. And I've got to tell you, this is going to be something you're going to want to hear the whole thing. Before we start, though, I want to do this, set the mood here, and I just wanted to play this for you. I thought it was interesting. We love our AI on the show, and this comes from Steven Crowder, actually. He did this on the show yesterday. I guess this is a parody.
He didn't make it.
He didn't?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
It's interesting because they had watermarked it and claimed it was theirs.
Of course he put his... well, maybe he did then. I could be mistaken.
He claimed he did it. It was a parody done on a show, but I thought it was interesting. I love AI. I thought you guys would enjoy it. We'd start off with that.
Order in the court, please. Miss Judge on the mic. Bring the choir in. Hey, Don Lemon in the back row. Fake fur, tight pants, and a weak glow. Trying to preach, but he reading from a talk show. Facts all wobbly, stunting for the B-roll. Oh, you ain't Peter, you ain't Paul. Those are just the guys you cracked at the mall. Right before you pulled up at a church hall. Don't blame the Christians and act Paul. Sunday service, families meeting prayer. Here you come, put my mic on air. Turn the pulpit to a press event. Now the bailiff taking evidence. Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Crying like a little bitch on Twitter. Unwatchable like Jennifer Welch. Gonna have to start a new show from a cell.
So, little shot at Don Lemon getting investigated under the Ku Klux Klan laws. Went in and interrupted a Christian service, which is an attack on civil rights.
He's a fucking idiot.
There's an argument. He is an idiot. I agree with you there. He is, I don't know what to think about him. He's so desperate for renewed fame,
Exactly. I was going to say that. Because he got booted off of CNN because his ratings sucked. Nobody wanted to watch him no more. So he's trying to do anything to make a name for himself again, get himself out there, maybe get picked up by one of the big networks. But I don't think they're going to do it. Not with doing dumb shit like that.
Do you remember when he came out with that list? He had, I guess because Elon Musk had some interest in maybe doing something with it. And he came out with this demand list of a vacation for him and his gay husband and a free cyber truck. And I can't remember what the number is he wanted. He wanted some massive number to come and do a show on it. And I couldn't even believe that Elon Musk was talking about doing a show. But it seemed once he didn't get that deal, he kicked off with a massive amount of negativity. And all he ever does is want to do conflict stuff. He's confrontational in a nasty way, not in a positive way. He doesn't go out and really just challenge the narrative or try to bring real news. It's like he just wants to be an asshole. And I don't think asshole sells nowadays. I don't know. I just don't think it does. I don't think people want asshole. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not an asshole. I'm saying that.
I was refraining myself from saying that. Go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to even say that George isn't an asshole. I've seen George be an asshole plenty of times. The point of the matter is that what I'm really trying to say is that I think people just want the facts. I think they want truth, George. I think what they really want is just give them the news and let them decide, right? You can give an opinion, but I think they want to decide themselves. That's how news used to be. At least it seemed like in the 50s, if you watch old news shows, it seemed like they just said, oh, okay, we did this. I don't know. Anyway, I don't enjoy what he does. I think it's a waste of time. And I don't think it's going to season well, personally. But, who knows? Maybe he's getting leftist money. Well, the reason we're doing this is really like an emergency broadcast, because I think this side of bullshit has to stop, where we don't hear about things. I mean, this is almost just a blip. If White Coast Waste hadn't really done this, and those guys, have done a lot with, saving animals at these labs and getting animal testing shut down. They do a great job. But George, don't you feel like this kind of an issue when you have high mortality rate pathogens and that have either been stolen, which is the most likely scenario, or missing or were released accidentally. So this biosafety lab facility in Hamilton, Montana, one of the biggest ones in the country, they carry a ton of high mortality rate pathogens, had to file what they call, and I think it's called a report 3, a level 3 report. Basically, excuse me, sorry about that, so that they can report the loss, theft, or release of a select agent like anthrax or Ebola. Now, this happened in November 20th in the committee minutes. So this one-line report surfaced, why White Coat Waste Project was doing an investigation. But this is a serious biosafety breach tied to the lab's history, which they're doing high-risk research. They've been working for the NIH and the CDC, two groups that I don't think anybody in the United States, at least on the conservative world, trust. But don't you feel like, George, now this is a massive lab. Got a picture of the lab that we put up there. And of course, it's a very large facility. Now, this biosafety report, it's a Form 3, like I said, reported a federal select agent program on 11/13/2025. Now, for the audience, I would have to believe that you guys would think it would be a top priority if something like this happened. Number one, for the people of Montana, if it was released, but it is more likely, based on the information that's coming out, that it was stolen. So who stole this material? And if it wasn't stolen, you're telling me they lost it? How do you lose Ebola, Marburg virus? Tell me how you just lose that in a facility with this kind of security. And they have high security. You can't just get into the facility. You have to have a pass card. I looked it up online. It's gated security. It's not like you just walk in and wander around. I mean, maybe if you throw a lab coat on, maybe if George throws a lab coat on, he could just walk in. I think it's highly unlikely. But these are called BSL-4 viruses. So these are the worst of the worst. These are the viruses. The stuff that they do most of up there is they research the stuff that has high mortality rates. I mean, George, don't you feel like this should just be up everywhere, that everybody should know? Because if it was stolen, wouldn't that mean that the person who stole it might have nefarious plans for those pathogens?
I like to know, what was the follow-up on this? What did they do? Where's the FBI, the CDC, any agents, all agencies, calling all cards here on this one, baby, because this is bad. They don't know if it was misplaced. They said what? Misplaced, maybe stolen. I'm going with probably stolen, because if you misplace it, you're going to find it. Come on. You're talking about very deadly pathogens. They're just trying to cover up. Question is, where is this stuff right now? I mean, not for nothing, but this is disgusting. Look, this could be coming around to someone in your neighborhood.
Yeah, now that's Ebola. That's what happens to you when you get Ebola.
That shit nasty.
Yeah, it's got a high mortality rate. And the onset is like 2 to 21 days incubation period, fever, fatigue, severe headaches, muscle pain, sore throat, progresses to vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, rash, impaired kidney and liver function, liver and kidney failure, external and internal bleeding and shock, multi-organ failure. So you're pretty much screwed if you get this thing. I don't know. And imagine even if you survive it. I saw some disfiguring images. Now, this is Marburg virus. So this is also got a high rate. It causes just nearly all the same symptoms I just described and more hideous. The images I saw, I tried to grab some of the toned down images, just absolutely awful. And anybody that had survived was so disfigured. It was awful. Now, there's also Lassa virus up there, another one that's not quite as common as the other two of Marburg and Ebola, a lot of outbreaks in Africa and otherwise. Same thing. Hearing loss, just permanent disfigurement. They also had Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever virus up there. Now, I get why they're doing studies. I understand that. But I would think, to me, this should be handled almost like a radioactive material loss. If one of our, facilities that stores radioactive material had a theft, it would be monstrous news. Explain to me why this facility And our regular press around the nation doesn't think this is giant news, but they want to talk about Don Lemon, or they want to talk about some other bullshit, Jasmine Crockett, whining about nothing that matters, saying something stupid. I feel like we really have lost the plot. I feel like mainstream media has really lost the plot. Here's a major story with a very important for the public.
Someone asked,
right?
Do they have Somalis working at these labs?
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe Chinese.
Probably tried to figure out. They probably figured out how to steal the stuff and sell it. They figured out a way that they could sell Ebola and Marburg virus on the open market. Because man, they are hustling. There's no doubt. They've done a hell of a job. I got to tell you, they were smart enough to steal billions of dollars. But that's the point, right? We got billions of dollars getting stolen in Minneapolis. We got really dangerous viruses going missing in a lab that's connected and works directly with the NIH and CDC. And this is news that matters to me, matters to my family. If it was stolen, don't they need to really figure out who the fuck stole it? I mean, George, I don't know. I saw this and I thought, man, we have really lost it. This story happened in November, and I'd feel bad that we're just covering it now here on the show, but it was just disclosed, so we're covering it right away. And I feel like we're trying to do the best we can. Am I right, George? Does this seem like a major issue to you? Because I saw this and was like blown away by the fact that it had happened.
Well, it's beyond major. So just for more context, this place, I think it's in Utah, right? It is a high containment biomedical research facility. High containment. Meanwhile, you have stuff missing. Now, we have a report on it missing, but we don't. There's no further reports on what happened afterwards. So it's all hush hush. No more information is available to the public. Why? What does that tell you? If they found it, damn well that we found it was here in the facility, it was in a different refrigerator, wherever. That would have been out there. Because they haven't found it or don't know who took it, there's no more reports. So this is very concerning to everybody. I mean, you got to think about it right now. The person that has this, are they duplicating it? Are they going to release this soon? We're going to have a mass event, 2028 presidential election? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen now, next week, next year?
And we've already heard about biolabs the Chinese were running. Do you remember those labs, George, we covered in California?
Yeah.
Where they found those labs, just random labs run by a Chinese guy, and he had silencers and guns. We've never really heard the final result of that investigation. That kind of got swept under the rug. And I want to say that the viruses that George and I mentioned first, those ones have mortality rates of up to 50%. That means half the people that get it die. The rest are absolutely so damaged that they're living in hospitals the rest of their lives, it seems like, from what I saw of the images and the information online. And there was other viruses there. They had Machupo virus, which that has a 20 to 35% mortality rate. You don't hear about it as much for some reason, but that causes a lot of the same things: bleeding, mouth, nose, esophagus, shock, neurological disorders and issues long-term. Junin virus, 15 to 30% mortality rate. Fever, headache, weakness, loss of appetite, progresses to vascular, renal, hematological, neurological issues, petechial rash, bleeding gums, swollen glands. I mean, those are the ones I gave you the highest mortality rates. There's a bunch of others that have this 15 to 30% mortality rate. And, and again, this is if untreated, but imagine one of these being released in a major urban area. How about going into a subway? How about going into a big event somewhere, a big concert? I'm just saying that, and this is a lab, I hate to say it, that worked directly with NIAID, of course, Anthony Fauci's group. So this lab specializes in studying these dangerous pathogens. You would think that they would have this under control. Now, they were running a bunch of high-risk animal experiments, which I don't like those, that biosafety level 3 and 4 facilities. They've got both. But their research includes all emerging infectious diseases. You would think this place would have security like Fort Knox. But apparently not. And apparently the mainstream media would rather you didn't know about this. Because I guess they just don't give a shit. Let's play the clip, George.
They care more about Minnesota ice and stuff.
Yeah, we got to talk badly about ICE. Those guys doing their jobs. risking their lives, and you got to talk shit about them. Good job,
Critics
mainstream
are
media.
saying that this kind of research, the bat lab research, could fuel another pandemic rather than prevent one. And we know, Justin, bats are one of the most disease-ridden creatures to date. All right, these are wild animals we're talking about. There is an incredible risk testing on bats. Does the NIH know alternative testing? Why is something like this even necessary? It truly boggles the mind.
Unfortunately, this agency is infected with Fauci era and Biden era holdovers who are obsessed with gain of function, are obsessed with dangerous virology research, and are continuing to double down on these dangerous animal experiments, despite RFK and the Trump administration saying they were going to wipe Fauci's fingerprints from the NIH, from the public health agencies. Instead, they're reinforcing Fauci's legacy. And it's not only this project, under Dr. Bhattacharya, the NIH gave $2.1 million to this bat lab in Colorado that should not be open. Hopefully, they will listen to Senator Ernst and Congressman Gosar and revoke the funding and make sure this place never opens. But there also have been renewing funding for things like Fauci's Beagle experiments, where they're infesting puppies with ticks, infecting kittens with COVID, and infecting monkeys with HIV, giving them cocaine. Laboratories all around the country that Fauci set into motion during his 40-year reign at the NIH that should have been abolished the second RFK got into HHS. Instead, the people at the helm of NIH, aside from Jay Bhattacharya, are Fauci and Biden era holdovers who want to keep his legacy in place.
Interesting.
Every time I see Fauci, I ask myself, why the fuck isn't he in jail? We already know they auto-pen so many of those pardons. Why don't they just start going to work? And don't get me wrong, I know Greenland's a priority. I know Trump's got his hands full, and I understand why the argument is.
But Greenland's got nothing to do with the DOJ.
Exactly.
Pam Bondi just went on.
Exactly my point.
She was on her AG Fox News channel talking about, and this is funny, Lance. I should have got the clip. I wish I got the clip. She talking about how the DOJ is looking into Tim Waltz and Ellison over there and a bunch of people. And she says this statement. She goes, no one is above the law. Not politicians, this and that. And I'm saying to myself, what? If no one's above the law, where the fuck are all the other arrests from crimes from like 4 or 5 years ago? 8 years ago.
Congress is wallowing around on these contempt charges for Hillary and Bill Clinton.
We know it's all
that shit
bullshit.
Should have been filed on Monday. It should. I don't understand the DOJ. You don't need to wait for Congress to do that. You saw them commit contempt. Why don't you just file the criminal charges? I mean, this is exactly my point.
They coddle everybody.
My point is that they want to tell us one thing. They want to show us, that this is really important and this matters, and we're doing, but nothing's happening. And now we've got, in my opinion, the mainstream media has really, really screwed the pooch here. In my opinion, the mainstream media has lost the plot. They'd rather talk about some dumbass shit, keep complaining about ICE, but they're not going to tell you about this. And listen, we heard that the animal testing was going to stop. What's up with this lab in Montana? Why are they still doing animal testing? And gain of function research.
Are they still doing animal testing? I don't even know.
Yeah. That's what he mentioned there. And also I read some of it that's still going on. They have some justification, some loophole they're using. But my point is, gain of function research, when there's never been a crossover, because they're basically taking viruses that have never crossed over, and they're using that gain of function research to make it crossover so that it becomes something dangerous to people. I don't understand these viruses. Some of these have been around for, thousands of years, and they've never crossed over. But now we're going to make them so they can cross over. That way now they're a risk. Why? So you can perpetuate your new funding. Oh, by the way, we were successful in having this crossover, so we're going to need another $1 billion to study this. I believe that's what they're doing. And I think this is the kind of a report. Hopefully you guys will take the short form and long form, and you'll share it far and wide. I'd go find White Coast Waits on X, and I'd follow them. Let me tell you something. This is what the news is supposed to do, what we're doing here. And I'm not blowing my own horn. I'm just saying that this is what I wish we could get back to. I'm tired of the bullshit. And Pam Bondi, you fucking suck. You suck. Okay? You need to get something done, bitch, and stop doing interviews on Fox News. Unbelievable, the bullshit that's coming out of your office. If you can't handle the job, quit. And no, I don't want Trey Gowdy. I don't want Trey Gowdy. You know who I want? I want Sidney Powell or somebody else. I do not want Trey Gowdy. Okay, so do me a favor. Don't even go to him. And Pam, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. I don't, sure, I want you to go after Tim Walz. Sure, I want you to go after Smolensk. But I also want some major arrests. Anthony Fauci is not somebody that should be allowed to continue anything he's involved with. And he shouldn't be allowed to enjoy the fruits of his nefarious and evil labor. All right, George, I guess you got a big I told you so for us, huh?
Yep. What could we say? The Big Meat Show's on top of the game. Now, we did an episode on it, but I know we talked on it prior to that because this is another I told you so. We're talking about the elections in Venezuela when Maduro's getting arrested, and we talked about if he's going to flip and start giving up the goods on Smartmatic election systems, because we know it were rigged over there in Venezuela. We know that for a fact because we seen it the last election when he lost, but suddenly, miraculously, he won. Votes got changed. They even seen it in real time over there. So Lance and myself have told you guys, and Trump now says that Maduro's in custody. His lawyers have learned some things. About Venezuelan voting software and possible 2020 election tampering. I wonder if I wonder if Trump instructed these lawyers to watch our show, and because we know the goods is up. Everybody, we're not stupid.
Well, we told you, and let me add something to what George just said. We had sources that had told us that even though it was about the drugs and it was about the oil, that behind the scenes, the really big agendas were the Smartmatic connection, its use with the CIA and with using it to manipulate election results in multiple countries. And of course, here in the United States, early on when George and myself got suspended on many channels, YouTube and X and elsewhere, we were covering election issues. And of course, we covered the Smartmatic and Skytel and Dominion connections and the risks that came with the machines. And we had lots of information. We had inside information on the Chinese ballot printing operations. We posted up videos and clips and all kinds of stuff. And of course, my account was suspended after Donald Trump, 1 minute and 46 seconds after his account. They targeted us. I've never seen those targeted lists. I thought at some point Elon Musk was going to allow everybody to see what really happened behind the scenes, but that never became truth. He said he was going to do it, and then it never happened. But our sources told us it was Smartmatic. We also heard about the seizures, that they had real interest. Originally, people thought that Maduro only had $23 million in Bitcoin. And it turned out he had somewhere between 600 and 660,000 Bitcoin. And today's prices, I don't know how much that is, but it's billions and billions of dollars. I know Bitcoin took a hit over the last couple of days. Of course, it would also be 3% of the entire Bitcoin world supply. So that the discussions behind the scenes is that the U.S. had real, because let me tell you, don't think that criminal arrests or criminal stuff isn't about the seizures also. Now, some people have alleged that Maduro may in fact be working with the U.S., George. Let's play the clip, but I think there's more and more proof that may be likely.
He's going to flip. All right, here we go.
Mr. President, you've been hearing from allies.
Thank you. Thank you so much, President Trump. Kara Castanova from Lindell TV. And you spoke earlier about the 2020 election. Now that Maduro is in U.S. custody and he was criminally charged, has any more information emerged that you could share with us regarding Venezuelan election software and Venezuelan ties to tampering with the 2020 election? And would you consider speaking to Maduro personally in prison in New York to get some answers on Venezuela's involvement with the 2020 election?
No, I don't think I would be doing that. I think my lawyers would be very unhappy if I did. Yeah, they've learned some things. Please.
What happens to the tariff threat to Greenland if the Supreme Court comes out and rules against you on the tariffs? And
they keep saying about the tariff thing, but SCOTUS, the Solicitor General, came up. Was it yesterday or the day before? When they were here in front of SCOTUS, and actually shocked a lot of people. I think even SCOTUS was like a little shocked because he brought up it was something with tariffs where past presidents used them or even were able to stop them. So that just shows precedent. So I think the tariff fight is going to be in favor of Trump. We'll see. I could be wrong.
And it's idiotic. He's like, that is one of the administration's biggest wins. We're taking tremendous amounts of money in. Where's the common sense?
There is no common sense with Democrats. If anything that's good that Trump does, they want to knock it down because it makes them look bad.
And it's incredible. Here he is pulling in this massive amount of money, which potentially could pay down the debt, although we haven't done that yet. But these massive amounts of money are coming in, and they're bitching and moaning like a bunch of schoolgirls. And by the way, it's not only the Democrats. We got a bunch of Republicans trying to act like it. I also don't like when they try to act like presidents don't have power. Congress tries to act like they're the ones running the country. They try to act like they're the ones that have the power. I got to be honest. I think the power of the budget being within Congress, I'm not sure that should even be allowed. I mean, the way they are wasting our money and misspending our money and doing all sorts of things that I think bring into question the ethical nature of Congress. I mean, George, you tell me, do you think they should be in charge of this?
Do I think they should be in charge of this?
In charge of the budget.
Congress?
Yeah.
If not them, then who?
I don't know.
I don't know if I'd want the president administration to do it. That's a tough call. I would say I prefer Congress over administration. However, there needs to be things added in there. When they do the budget, they need to do a budget strictly for the United States of America. No outside. If they want to send money to another country, that has to be a totally separate thing out in the open. So when they do a budget, it has to be for the inside the United States. Money that's in here, the United States, not going to any NGO outside the country, not going to any other country, program, whatever. That has to be totally separate. That's what you know.
It's frightening, though, right? They've mishandled it so badly. They've wasted billions and really trillions. That's why we're $39 trillion in debt. They've spent it like it's a personal piggy bank. It's shitty. And they've done a shitty job. And it's funny. You do a shitty job at a regular business and you get fired. You mismanage funds. You have missing funds. Do you think you're going to maintain your job at Costco? If they come in and the Costco auditor comes and goes, hey, George, looks like you're missing $20 million in your apartment. But don't worry about it, buddy. We're going to let you keep your job. We just want to try to figure out if it was just a mistake or meanwhile, George is driving around in a Costco Lamborghini. I'm saying that's the ridiculous part. These people keep their jobs even when they do a shitty job. That includes the judiciary. That includes the prosecutors. I mean, I don't know how we're going to fix this. This is crap.
I know
All right,
how.
George.
I know how. Abolish the government peacefully, install a new one through the courts, and we got to get money. But let's keep going. So,
Department of Homeland Security.
Why is ICE in Minnesota? Well, you know what? They've been in Minnesota the whole year. The only reason is so much controversy is coming out because Nick Shirley investigated the Somalians and uncovered so much fraud. He's actually speaking, I think, I don't know where, in front of Congress or something today.
Did a hell of a job.
So Homeland Security has arrested over 10,000 illegal aliens in Minnesota so far since Trump took office. 10,000 illegals. I wonder how many more are there. Thinking about that. There's probably more. But, they were going after the rapists, the murderers, the sexual fucking predators, pedos. They were going after those first. How could you not want them out of your neighborhoods? I can't believe.
And people are fighting them.
I can't listen. The people that are fighting all these people in protests in the streets. Let's take all the illegal murderers and pedos and let them stay in their house. Matter of fact, I'll pay you to put them in your house, especially if you have children. Oh, definitely. And let me know how it works out for you, because I doubt they're going to do it. Part.
You saw that video where this ICE agent is telling them, we're coming in here because we're trying to get somebody that's involved in trafficking. And you have to think about, you're out there doing some dumbass shit, some of you people, and I don't understand it. And this show, we welcome everybody. We want the liberals and the conservatives to watch the show because hopefully we're going to unify the country through common sense. How can you fight an agency, I don't care what agency, your local police department, how can you fight them when they're trying to get these scumbags out of your communities that could harm you and your family? You're seeing these illegal immigrants do horrendous crimes around the country, and we're only hearing about the ones that the press knows they can't keep a lid on. Let me tell you something. They're modifying all the criminal results in all these blue states. They're acting like violent crimes aren't violent crimes. They're trying not to make arrests. They're doing because they don't want to report the real numbers. The real numbers are much higher in every state. If you can talk to any police officer in your family, any friend that knows a police officer, they'll tell you that the numbers that are being reported are way higher than what they really are. So let's play the clip.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcos Charles. As Greg introduced, I am the Executive Associate Director for ICE Enforcement Removal Operations. Thank you for joining us. We announced the current status of Operation Metro Surge. As you know, the Department of Homeland Security has arrested over 10,000 illegal aliens in Minnesota since President Trump took office. Over the weekend and through yesterday's holiday, ICE arrested 113 illegal aliens in Minnesota. Some of the criminal aliens that were arrested, whose photos you see beside me on the monitor, include an illegal alien gang member from Laos with convictions for homicide and robbery, an illegal alien from Laos who's been convicted for sodomizing a 12-year-old girl and sexual assault, an illegal alien from the Marshall Islands who has 24 criminal convictions, including assault, domestic abuse, and theft. There's an illegal alien from Honduras convicted of 3 DUIs who has also been arrested for kidnapping, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and possession of a stolen firearm. An illegal alien from South Africa convicted of violating a restraining order and arrested for domestic violence, assault, meth possession, and DUI. We are currently also looking for 2 sexual predators who are at large in or around St. Paul right now. Lu Mao Ah, a criminal illegal alien from Laos who is wanted for sexually assaulting a child, rape, kidnapping, and domestic violence. And Kong Ming Bang, a criminal illegal alien from Laos who is wanted for sexual assault, gang activity, and simple assault. If you have any information about these 2 criminal illegal aliens or any other criminal illegal aliens, please call the ICE tip line at 866-DHS-2-ICE or visit our website at ice.gov to submit a tip. Since President Trump took office 1 year ago today, the state of Minnesota has released nearly 500 criminal aliens who were in police or state custody rather than turning them over to ICE for removal proceedings. Many of these criminals already have a final order of removal, which means an immigration judge has determined that they have no legal basis to remain in the United States. ICE currently has more than 1,360 immigration detainers on illegal aliens in Minnesota jails and prisons, and we are calling on Governor Walz and Mayor Fry to turn these criminal illegal aliens directly over to ICE to keep Minnesota residents in our community safe. If local officials, including those in the Twin Cities, don't want ICE to arrest criminal aliens that are at large in their communities, the best solution is to turn them over to us in a safe, controlled setting like a jail or prison, instead of releasing them back onto the street to victimize our neighborhoods, where your children go to school, where your parents live, and where you worship, shop, and spend time with your loved ones. The holiday weekend's arrests reflect ICE's commitment to public safety and responsible enforcement. When criminal illegal aliens threaten the Twin Cities or any other city in America, we act decisively to remove them from the community in a controlled and lawful manner. Our goal is simple. We're here to protect the American communities from people like the ones you see here on the monitor. Thank you.
No, thank you. Keep getting them. But all them sexual predators that are out there on the streets, yet they're fighting us. They're fighting to keep them there. People are sick. I mean, I hate to see this, but what's it going to take? One of these politicians' kids to get hurt or grandchildren for them to I don't want to see that. I really don't. But is that what it's going to take? You know the old saying where your mother tells you, don't touch the stove, it's hot, but as a kid, you got to go touch it and learn? Is that what needs to happen? Because we don't want that to happen. I don't want to see any kid get hurt. These people are so stupid. All because
but it's intentionally stupid. It's a manipulation.
But it was all right when Obama did it, though.
Oh, yeah.
It was fine. Yeah. Obama, I mean, tons and tons.
He could do no wrong, Obama.
The news,
he was a golden child.
Listen, the news went on with ICE when they were doing raids and stuff, and liberal media was right there with them, praising them and stuff. Now, because it's Trump, it's no good.
Yeah, everything's bad that's good unless it's somebody that they want to do it. Or they don't want Hillary Clinton to do it, or they don't want Obama to do it, or they don't want Joe Biden to do it. It's all good when they do it. That's the stupidity. And that's what I want to tell this audience always. We love all you guys. Common sense. If it doesn't make any common sense, and guess what? It's you kick it out. It doesn't matter, even if it's us. Common sense. All right, let's talk about this. This is a shockwave coming through. The Democrats aren't happy about it, but I don't know what it's going to mean. More subpoenas. I mean, I guess maybe they'll get something done. What do you think, George?
I don't have high hopes. So they're subpoenaing them. How many subpoenas or hearings have we seen, but never consequences? Look what it's taken. You said it earlier, Lance. Look what it's taken to for the Clintons.
Yeah, it's Thursday, and we still don't have them on contempt. That shit should have been ready to file the second they didn't show up. Oh, we're going to find them in contempt. We're going to get them. Come on, man. Get off your ass, Pam Bondi. Stay the fuck off Fox News. Seriously. Stop doing Fox News every news. If the administration is listening to our show right now, stop. Stop Pam Bondi from doing interviews. Let's get her to do some work. Let's get some arrests of real people. Clearly, Tim Walsh, Jacob Fry, and Keith Ellison, the allegations would make it look like they probably knew everything about Minnesota. They stole billions, or they helped steal billions from the U.S. government. I don't know how much got funneled back into their campaigns. We saw another case of a Democrat smurfing again. That's in the news about more smurfing, which, is stealing votes and funneling money around. Let's play the clip. I mean, how much more of this shit do we need to watch and listen to where we all know it's wrong? We all know they're committing crimes, but nobody's getting arrested. How much longer, Pam? No arrests. How much longer?
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan?
And John, before we get to that, I want to get to the breaking news we have just heard. The FBI has apparently just served subpoenas to several officials here in Minneapolis, including members of the office of Governor Tim Walz. We will bring you more information as we get it on those subpoenas. Meantime, the number of protesters out here at the federal building is diminishing every day, it seems. But the war of words between local officials and the Trump administration is only getting stronger. The latest flashpoint, as you mentioned, that protest at a St. Paul church on Sunday, during which several dozen protesters disrupted the service, screaming at members of the congregation and screaming anti-ICE slogans. In the meantime, the president himself is urging DHS to make a lot more of the number of criminals that are being arrested during Operation Metro Surge. The president saying on Truth Social, quote, show the numbers, names, and faces of the violent criminals and show them now. The people will start supporting the patriots of ICE instead of the highly paid troublemakers, anarchists, and agitators. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar said on X, quote, stop terrorizing people with your fake PR about criminals in Minneapolis, because the only people on the streets of Minneapolis you are arresting are law-abiding citizens. And local law enforcement officials held a press conference a short time ago in which they accused what they said was a small group of federal agents of merely stopping people through racial profiling. Listen here.
If American citizens are...
So, oh, goody. So here's another one, right? I don't say nothing. Ilhan Omar is under federal investigation as House GOP probes how she made millions while in Congress. What about Nancy Pelosi? She made millions. She's a top stock trader of all time. But yet she never got probed. That's why you know
Warren Buffett.
That's why you know this probe with Elon Musk, it's just optics. It's bullshit. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Probing. They're probing. They're going to probe. I got to tell you, the only probing that's happening is the American public. We're getting probed right up the rear end. That's all they're giving it to us. I'm telling you right now, they better get something done. I'm sick of this shit. Stay tuned. Big Wing Show. I'll be right back with George Ballantine, Lance Migliaccio. President Trump, sounds like you might be getting a $2,000 bonus, America. I'm not against it. I'm not sure it's the best use of the proceeds, but I got to tell you, I think this is a huge win for the midterms. Stay tuned. We'll be talking about it. While you're on the break, here's the homework. Take the live link. Share it across all your social media. Get into the comments. Get into the chat. Engage us. Let us know what other next stories, next guests you'd like us to have. Let's dig in, folks. We got to make some things happen. Big Wing Show will be right back.
I'm going nowhere.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.
Time's up.
All right. Welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Here we host Lance Migliaccio, George Ballantine, Big Mig Mafia in the chat, Big Mig Army. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, like button, the share, follow button, the red Big Mig Mafia button, subscription, $5 a month. Every little bit helps. You can tip us in crypto right there on the wallet, right there in Rumble. You can send Rumble rants, or you can just say you love us and gonna share this live on your social media. Anything helps. We appreciate it all. All right, Lance. I don't know. Do you want a $2,000 check? I think a $2,000 check might do some good.
Hey, I'll take a $2,000 check. It's not that I wouldn't take it. I don't know what the qualifying is going to be. I don't know how they're going to frame this, so that'll be interesting. But here's the point. I think it's great, and I think we need some help in the midterms. But you know what would help besides a $2,000 check? Arrests. Arrests would help, Pam Bondi. You want to get the American public on your side? Start snatching some of the deep staters. Let's grab some people out of Congress for the crimes they committed. Let's go grab Anthony Fauci. How about Joe Biden for all his garbage? Let's go. Arrests. You want to win midterms? You want to get the MAGA group? You want to get conservatives unified across the country? You want to convert people, the liberals? Arrests. Make arrests, win the midterms. That's
when do we want arrests, Lance?
We want them now. We want them now. When do we want arrests? I want to hear the audience. We want them now. Go ahead and let us know in the chat. Do you want arrests? When do you want them, audience? When do you want them in the chat? I think you want them now. I'm going to guess for
Chat's
you.
blowing up. They all saying now. No one's saying never.
Okay, today I want everybody to go over to their X account and into Pam Bondi's feeds, and I want you to type in, when do we want arrests, Pam? Put 3 dots. We want them now. So go in today. I'm going to do it. George is going to do it. When do we want arrests? 3 dots, Pam. We want them now. Okay, let her know how you feel about it, because at the end of the day, and tell her to stay the fuck off Fox News, please, please. All right. This is good news, though. I like when Americans get some money. They've been giving it away to the Somalians. They've been giving it to people in India. They've been giving it to the Middle East. They've been giving it to Israel. They've been giving it to, all over the globe, right? Everywhere. I'm not bitching about Israel. I'm just saying they're giving it everywhere. It's about time Americans get some of this money. I was hoping
the money.
I mean, what about the 10% credit card thing? Was that the date? Have we hit that date yet? Wasn't it already supposed to happen?
No.
The 20th. Oh, no, it's the 21st. What happened to the 10% credit card debt thing? I didn't get any notice from any of my credit cards. George, you get any notices?
Right. January 20th is the inauguration, 1 year.
Yeah, what happened?
Shit.
Where's the credit card interest? Where's the 10% credit card interest?
Anybody watching, listening in chat, anybody hear anything about that? That's right.
Anybody get a notice that their credit card interest is going to be dropped to 10%? Anybody get that? I didn't get it.
You know what? Trump. I don't know if you're watching. I know you're in Davos right now, but somebody's watching.
Yeah.
What, it's January 21st. Your 1 year inauguration was yesterday. You said it was going into effect. I think it was going into effect, right? The inauguration? Or was it February?
And DJT, I dare you, if you see Klaus Schwab, I dare you to punch him. If you see Klaus
He ain't
Schwab,
gonna be there, dude.
If Klaus Schwab is there, I don't know. I always feel like he's lurking in the background like an evil, nefarious, vampire. If you see him, crack him right in the face. Give him a New York style straight to the face. Maybe it'll kill him. All right, let's play this clip. This is good news, and I want to share some good news because, of course, I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy, okay? No doom and gloom.
All right, here we go.
Good news, 2,000 2 G's a piece. Benjamin's coming your way. And he's not going to ask.
On that, or do you think you can do that unilaterally?
I don't think we would have to go the Congress route, but we'll find out. The reason we're even talking about it is that we have so much money coming in from tariffs that we'll be able to issue at least a $2,000 dividend and also pay down debt for the country. But we'd do a $2,000 dividend to the people of our country. Would probably set a limit of income limit where it made sense, but. We will be able to make a very substantial dividend to the people of our country. I believe we can do that without Congress.
Last night on Truth Social.
I love how he said pay down debt and do the dividend. So that's good news. But you know who loves a red pill? George loves a red pill.
Well,
he does. He loves it.
Lance, I think everybody loves it. And this is part of what reason why we do this show is to try to red pill everybody. And this is a great story because this happened on CNN. This is red pill at its finest. I think Democrats are panicking over this, especially that CNN aired it. Midterms around the corner. It's not looking good for Republicans, but we'll take whatever we can get right now. They were actually forced to air this. This is a suburban Iowa mom flipping from Biden to Trump. And she's like, Trump was right about everything. And she even brings up the 2020 election at the end, saying, oh, no, I think it was stolen. And the commentator's like, oh, no, it wasn't. Like, no, I think it was. I mean, That's just music to my ears. So I want to give a round of applause to everybody out there watching and listening, because if you guys share this stuff out there, it helps Red Pill. So we're all part of the movement. I want to play the clip because I just love watching this clip over and over again. I might have to save this one.
There's that saying, Trump was right about everything, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
This breakfast conversation, our 6th visit with Betsy Sarcone, dating back to August 2023. Her shift beyond dramatic. A DeSantis, then a Haley voter, said she would vote for Joe Biden if Trump won the Republican nomination. But she changed her mind.
I think Biden probably changed me more than Trump. I think watching nothing be done, for 4 years about an open border.
Now she gives Trump an A-, loves the immigration crackdown, just closed a big real estate sale, and thinks the economy is picking up. Sarcone laughed at Trump's 2020 election fraud claims when we first met. Another big change.
I'm starting to question the election of 2020, right?
He lost the election in 2020.
I don't know.
He lost the election in 2020.
The suburbs revolted against Trump in his first midterm, and Democrats are banking on it again. But Republicans don't have to worry about Sarcone. She likes Congressman Nunn and loves that her daughters can use a school choice plan.
Nice. You got to love it. So, you know, the worst thing that could happen to Trump and the administration for the midterms is things like, so the 10%, I looked it up, 10% interest rate cap was supposed to start yesterday. I don't know if they have to comply or not, but Trump should be putting pressure, because you can't be telling American citizens you're doing something and it doesn't get done, especially where it could save them money. It's not going to bode well. Just like earlier when he said he's going to give out those $2,000 checks, you don't care if without Congress. Well, you got better follow through, sir. You better follow through, because God knows every American used that money. But worst of all is promising or saying something any politician can do and then not follow through, because you see it all the time with politicians. That's just some advice from George Ballantyne and Lance Migliaccio from the Big Me Show. We're here
I
to
felt
help.
like there was some waffling the other day on the credit card thing. It almost sounded like he was going to allow the credit card agencies to do it voluntarily. That's not going to work. You're going to have to force down that interest. And I think we need a long-term solution. 22, 30%, 31, 2%. It's bullshit.
Well, you know what the problem is?
It's greed.
You know, it's in that there's a bill. It was in Congress since last year, and they're just stalling with it.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why. I wonder how many of these big credit card companies are lobbying for the politicians.
Because Congress sucks. Doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, nonpartisan. They suck. We're going to subpoena. We're going to stand around. I mean, we're celebrating. They won the House. They won the Senate. That has done absolutely dog shit for us. All right, let's talk about Greenland. They're making moves, text messages. Trump is sharing NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte's text messages. Trump realizes the importance of Greenland. He knows that both China and Russia want it. And I love this comment. I just got to say this. China and Russia want Greenland. There's not a thing that Denmark can do about it. They currently have 2 dog sleds as protection. Wait a minute, George.
I didn't see that part.
One added recently. Like they just updated their security. They've got a second dog sled, so they are much safer. We don't need to go into all the details. I think we've got a clip, a statement here. So this is Donald Trump, his message about he had a good phone call with Mark Rutte. They're trying to make it happen. And let's face it, even at Davos, let's play this clip. The globalists at Davos, the people that hate Donald Trump are hating these kind of comments, but I love his sense of humor. And I disagree with Melania. I want Barron Trump to have some of Donald Trump's sense of humor as he gets older.
I think he has it, though.
So Melania, please allow Barron to have some of Donald Trump, because we love his humor. We want Barron Trump to have some of his humor because I believe he's got political aspirations. And I think you've done everything so right. But allow the guy to have some humor also. He needs a little bit of this, because this is some funny shit, at least for me as a New Yorker. Let's play it.
So just real quick, I want to, so United States, they occupied Greenland. It was back in from 1941 to 45. They could have stayed, but the whatever president at that time screwed it up. So really, it kind of was our territory. We just want to take it back. And we said this when Trump said this a long time ago. We talked about this. We said when Trump says something, you best believe he's going to do it, or he's going to go after it. And it took some time. He was doing other important stuff. That's fine. All the good and dandy. We need to fix shit here first. But he's at Davos now. And he's saying this to everybody in Davos. He said, Greenland is part of North America. That's our territory. He's funny with it. We want a piece of ice for world protection. I think that's great. We want a piece of ice. You can have a piece of ice, buddy. Here we go.
Greenland is a vast, almost entirely uninhabited and undeveloped territory. It's sitting undefended in a key strategic location between the United States, Russia, and China. That's exactly where it is, right smack in the middle. Wasn't important nearly when we gave it back. When we gave it back, it wasn't the same as it is now. It's not important for any other reason, everyone talks about the minerals. There's so many places. There's no rare earth, no such thing as rare earth. There's rare processing, but there's so much rare earth. And this, to get to this rare earth, you got to go through hundreds of feet of ice. That's not the reason we need it. We need it for strategic national security and international security. This enormous unsecured island is actually part of North America, on the northern frontier of the Western Hemisphere. That's our territory. It is therefore a core national security interest of the United States of America. And in fact, it's been our policy for hundreds of years to prevent outside threats from entering our hemisphere, and we've done it very successfully. We've never been stronger than we are now. That's why American presidents have sought to purchase Greenland for nearly 2 centuries. For 2 centuries, they've been trying to do it. They should have kept it after World War II, but they had a different president. That's all right. People think differently. Much more necessary now than it was at that time, however. So we want a piece of ice for world protection, and they won't give it. We've never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember.
Hold on.
And that's well said. I think it's right on spot. And I have to say this. The United States has gone out of their way over and over again to protect so many countries in the world. And then we've done it with our money. We've done it with our military might. Let's face it. If he tells you that we need it, he's doing that for the benefit of everybody. So stop dicking around. Let's get Greenland wrapped up. I think Canada should be next.
I have a solution.
Go ahead.
So, Denmark, they have a king there, right? And he's got a daughter. That beautiful woman. Around Trump's son's
age.
Yeah. I think we should take Barron, hook them two up, solidify the marriage right there, baby.
Yeah. Hey, a Barron could become a prince. I think it's okay through marriage or otherwise. If she's hot,
God,
why not?
Wait,
if she's hot, why not?
Hold on. Oh my God, you just brought up a great thing, fucking Lance. Listen to this.
What?
Barron marries the princess from Denmark, right? After it's all said and done, if she becomes a queen, whatever, then Barron would be the king, right? But he's a U.S. citizen. He runs for president. He has both titles, president and king.
Hey,
you want to see libs flip out? Oh my God!
Although you want to hear something strange about that, do you know that we actually have laws on the books where a government official or an American citizen cannot have a title of nobility? Were you aware of that? They're not supposed. There's a law on our books. You can go back and look it up. It says that United States citizens cannot have titles of nobility. Now, what's odd about that?
Wait, they can't have titles of nobility?
Title of nobility, called a title of nobility. You can't have that if you're a U.S. citizen. And here's what's interesting: for a lot of people, don't recognize this that an attorney, when they're giving that title, it's actually a title of nobility. So attorneys are violating U.S. law by accepting the way that they're, and again, I'm saying this is old stuff, but it's interesting that a title of nobility is illegal for a U.S. citizen to have, allegedly. I'm not saying the law supported. I'm not saying that we enforce it because, again, attorneys have a lower level title of nobility when they become an attorney.
So I'm looking it up right now, and it says U.S. citizens can hold titles of nobility, but only if granted by a foreign country, as the U.S. Constitution forbids the federal and state governments from granting or recognizing them through citizens, though citizens can inherit or receive them from abroad.
There's something that I don't know. Did you ask AI that? Was that an AI question? Maybe that's right.
It is from AI saying it, yes.
Let me see something. There was something what was the? I want to do this. You go ahead and keep going if you want, but the original.
Wait a minute.
Law about U.S. citizens and titles of nobility, and I believe it was. Hang on a minute. Let me just see.
There are U.S. citizens that have had them because they've married into.
The original law regarding U.S. citizens and titles of nobility is the Titles of Nobility Amendment, a proposed 13th Amendment, Form 1810, that would stop a citizenship from any American accepting a foreign title or emolument, which is a title also, without congressional consent, reflecting a deep-seated aversion to aristocracy, though it was never officially ratified. And this is in parts. Let me see here. Key assets of the town. Anyway, I had always heard that you weren't legally supposed to hold a title of nobility. Maybe I got that wrong. Could be that I'm wrong about that, but it was interesting stuff. The original founders didn't want it because, of course, the titles of nobility were linked to the monarchies.
They're saying United States can't grant anything like that. It has to come from a foreign country.
Yeah.
Which is all right.
Well,
I get that.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he can be king of Denmark.
You're right. Section 9,
president.
Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8. That's where it says it. Is that what you just had?
Maybe it's possible. Yeah. All right.
So, but just imagine though, Baron marries a princess. When she becomes queen, he becomes the king. Right? And
yeah,
he runs for president of the United States. Can you imagine the liberals freaking out right now?
Yeah, they'd hate it. They'd hate it. And if she's hot, why not? All right, news from Davos. Palantir's Alex Karp to BlackRock's Larry Fink. I still view myself as a card-carrying progressive. The AI revolution that's coming is going to expose the actual market value of what you're doing. Ugly statement. Let's play the clip.
Still view myself as a card-carrying progressive, and I think it's the single most important thing a progressive could do is go around and say, yeah, but the revolution that's coming is going to expose the actual market value of what you're doing, whether we want it or not. It's like I don't even want to know the market value of some of this stuff, but it is over a relative rapid period of time. So next 3 years, you're just going to get market value, honesty in all sorts of in communities and micro communities. And the best thing you can do if you are in a community, whether that is a large community like Germany or a large community, larger like America, and you really care for the people you're representing, is to say, yeah, but we have to kind of look closely at what load we can bear.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Good for them. We have a show tomorrow at AI. We have a guest coming where AI is using to help people with law stuff. So you don't want to miss that show tomorrow. But let me go on. And I want you to pay attention to this next clip, because here's Finland's president, Alexander Stubb, who's saying Europe can unequivocally defend itself without the Americans, right? But yet he contradicts himself, because along in that clip, he says that they have, I forget the name of the fighter jets, but they only can be manned by Americans.
Yeah.
Huh? So what do you mean? Yeah. You don't need us? How you can't use them jets then? He said it, not me. Listen to it.
Pretty dumb.
President Stubb, I'd like to ask you first. Do you see this sense of urgency for a plan B among your European partners? Is there the need for that? And who should lead the charge? Because, it's a bit unfair. We're sitting here on the panel with Finland and Poland. You are really doing a lot when it comes to defense, especially Finland. You have this comprehensive approach to defense in your country. Are your partners, are they experiencing the urgency? Who needs to come up with the plan B and lead the charge?
Well, two answers. First is a direct answer to the question of this panel: can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans.
How?
Well, look.
But you're relying on them for these key elements. How would you do it at scale and at duration and at intensity?
With an assumption that the United States would cut off completely any kind of work.
Yeah.
Well, if we look at the defense composure of Europe by and large, and a country like Finland, so how do we do it? We have conscription. 1 million have done it. We can mobilize 280,000 soldiers within weeks. We have 62 F-18s. Your next question is going to be, do they fly without Americans? No, they don't. But do we trust that they will continue to fly because it's in the interest of America to do so? Yes. We just bought 64 F-35s. We have the biggest artillery in Europe together with Poland. We have long-range missiles, land, sea, and air. We don't have this because we're worried about Stockholm, right? So the bottom line is that if you ask me the question that can the Finnish military defend itself against a Russian attack, the whole defense posture of the way in which you do it, yes, we can. But then the second question, which you were alluding to, I think we also have to understand that you fight wars on the battlefield, but you win them at home. And that means that all of us need to focus more on comprehensive security. The civilian side of things. That's why we have civilian shelters for 4.4 million Finns. That's why we have a security of supply where we don't get into any kind of trouble with food shortages, energy shortages, or electricity grids, because we've got this. And this is the, I think, capability that a lot of European states need to do.
Hey, Lance, how many shelters and food storage supplies does the United States have for its citizens?
That's a really good question.
We know they have them for the politicians and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people say we have more than what's been publicly made aware, that they built a lot of systems underground. And we know there's lots of underground tunnel systems. A lot of the missing funds within our defense budget have been used to create these underground facilities. But I can't tell you that we have enough to cover 300 plus million Americans. I don't know how many we'll have after they deport all the illegal immigrants, but I don't think we have that. So do I think that's important? Yeah. Do I think that having a strategic oil reserve that isn't depleted like Joe Biden did? Yeah, I think it's important. I think you have to have fuel reserves just in case. I think you have to have the ability to process rare earth minerals. All those things matter. The Finnish president is full of shit. To say that he's going to take on a superpower like the Russians, whose drone technology exceeds the majority of those people in the European Union, and they're continuing to work on that.
But Lance, they had the F-18s, but they can't. Only the Americans can fly them. So he says, they're going to.
That seems to be a problem to me. I don't know. That's
either you're going to have American help or you're not. Which one is it, buddy?
Yeah, you can't have both worlds. But the Finns are always. Don't you always feel like the Finns in general, the arrogance of the Finns? They've always been kind of arrogant when they do interviews. I'm talking about leadership. The Finnish people aren't like that. I've met some Finns over the years.
You know what it is? Like you always say, it's optics, Lance. You always talk about that. He's just looking strong for his country and people. We get it. That's
Citadel,
why. But you ain't going to do it without America. Go ahead.
Yeah, Citadel, powerful financial institution. You know the power of Citadel. The CEO says decisions made under the Biden administration, no surprise, were so poorly thought out in terms of economic consequences. It cost the U.S. economy dearly. That's because Joe Biden was never a business person. I want to tell you, I want to make this statement very quickly. There was a statement I got from somebody. I'm not going to say who it was because it was in a private conversation. He said, you really can't have a president who doesn't have and or one or both of these. He has to have massive amounts of business experience and or military experience. That real military leadership creates a strong president, and that real business leadership creates a strong operator of the administration. So if you can have a president that has both those, military leadership and business leadership, you're in the best of both worlds, but you have to have one or both. Joe Biden had neither. He was a career scumbag politician who was a KKK supporter. He was a racist. He was an idiot. He was, in my opinion, a pedophile for all intents and purposes. The sniffing of children seemed extremely odd to me, and there was lots of other stories. Let's play the clip.
I just want to know. I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to put later clip. Where was Citadel CEO? Where was he when Biden was president? I didn't hear him saying this and calling him out. I'm just saying.
Quiet like a church mouse, like a little moron church mouse.
Thank
I agree.
You. Here we go.
Cannot imagine how painful it was each and every day under the Biden administration to look at what new crazy proposal was being put into place to solve a problem that didn't even exist. I mean, our constant friction at Citadel with the government across umpteen different aspects of our business was exhausting. And to have that literally end on one day, Election Day, just gives you so much energy as an entrepreneur to go back and build your damn business. So the biggest sea change I've seen across American executives has been just like the giant sigh of relief. I can now go and focus on building my business. And that prior administration, you know, we happen to be a creditor of Spirit. Their merger with JetBlue was stopped. Spirit's in bankruptcy today. There were so many decisions that were so poorly thought out in terms of economic consequences. It cost the U.S. economy dearly. I cannot emphasize that enough. And so the Trump administration is making slow progress on deregulation thus far, but the end of the regulatory onslaught has been just an extraordinary boom for American business.
It's a great story.
Okay, man.
All right. So, and here, you know, and that's spot on. Okay. You put a moron in, you install a moron, you're destroying the country from within. That's what corrupt elections do. And at the end of the day, that's what happens to our country. We got to get control of our elections. We got to get control of the administration. We got to get control of Congress. For the people, by the people. Otherwise, I say lock them up, throw them out, fire them. That has to do with the judiciary and our Congress, all the executive branch. Citadel CEO says AI re-empowered technology departments, every business, but claims that 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs will disappear. I disagree with him. He is saying it's hype driven by AI's industry need to justify raising billions. I don't agree with him. As you dig into AI, you're going to find out more and more positions are going to be cut out of the loop. I think it's going to become more and more evident. I'm not saying there won't be opportunities for you along the way to make money. There are lots of opportunities, but you're going to have to know AI to take advantage of those opportunities. Let's play the clip.
What AI has done is it has re-empowered the head of technology in every business in the United States. And it has pushed budgetary resources into the hands of the chief technology officer. So what you're seeing across American business is actually the impact of American businesses spending more on digitization writ large, of which AI is just one component. It's one component, but in some sense, it's the cover story that creates the space for American companies to really embrace technology in a much more profound way. I was in China about a year and a half ago with a group of prominent global executives, and they were all talking about how AI was changing their business. It was so fun. And I said, let's go around the table and let's each share a story as to how we're using AI to make our business better. I heard 5 or 6 great stories. Not one involved generative AI.
But does that mean that the productivity boost from generative AI is still to come? How quickly will it come and how big will it be? I mean, are you in the camp that, you know, as Dario Amodei says, you know, half of all entry-level white-collar jobs will, you know, be gone in the next 5 years? Is it that kind of change, or is it more incremental?
You know, put yourself in his shoes. How much money does the AI community need to raise over the next 5 years?
A lot.
Right, data center spend in the United States this year, over $500 billion. Like over $500 billion, okay? You're not gonna generate this kind of spend unless you're gonna make a promise you're gonna profoundly change the world.
So is it hype?
Of course.
So AI will not profoundly change the world.
How else are you gonna get people to write $500 billion of checks just this year alone, right? There needs to be a level of, like, AI is your savior almost. And the question is, where will AI land in productivity gains at the end of the day? In certain areas, we know it's going to be profound, whether it's call centers, whether it's helping to improve the productivity of software engineers. But in a number of white-collar jobs, you know, there was a recent Harvard paper on this. They called it AI work slop. That it looks good, but if you sort of peel back the onion, the substance isn't there. I was with one of my colleagues who runs our commodities business, and he handed a report on that we were generating with an AI engine. Doesn't matter what the topic was. The first few sentences, like, wow, that's really insightful. And then you go down below that, and it's all garbage.
So that's going to, and we are running out of time, but that suggests that AI is not going to come to the rescue to make up for the various negatives that we discussed about in the first part of this conversation. So in 10 seconds...
So, but remember, the spending on technology writ large is having a clear, positive impact on the economy.
So which economy in the world benefits most from this conflagration of geopolitics, economic policy, and technology change?
I mean, who benefits the most? That's a really interesting way to put it.
In 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds. You know, when it's all said and done, it's somewhat ironic, but it's the United States and China are the two big beneficiaries of this moment.
Fuck China. All right. We got ghost Social Security numbers. Secretary Brooke Rollins saying across 28 states, more than 500,000 individuals are using dummy Social Security numbers. Over 350,000 are collecting benefits in multiple states.
What the
And nearly 200,000 dead people are collecting benefits.
What is it with the dead people that keep surfacing, George? Benefits, voting. How come we can't just get these dead people out of the system? Explain this to me. How is it that hard to track a dead person?
So hold on. So add 500,000, right? Then if you have 350,000 in multiple states, right? So add another 350,000. That's 850,000 potential votes. That's all I'm saying. Play the clip.
I said one of the silver linings of the ridiculous Democrat shutdown at the end of last year was that America woke up to the amount of fraud in these government programs. Of course, the SNAP program, which is food stamps, we at USDA administer that through the states, and we saw just 200,000 dead people. Or alive people, but using dead people's Social Security numbers. 500,000 people getting 2 times the number of benefits. We've already arrested over 100 people going through trial. A lot of them have already been jailed for significant fraud. The remarkable thing in all of this is at the beginning of last year, I asked every state for their data so we could help root this fraud out. Currently in litigation with all the blue states who refuse to turn their data over as we're working to fix the program. Now, of course, Minnesota, we know what we're seeing with the Somalian fraud, et cetera. There's a lot of work to do. One judge, of course, is holding us up, but we feel confident as this case moves its way through the courts that unless they are willing to help us root the fraud out, we will stop funding.
Guess what? More fraud coming.
No.
I know, Lance.
Impossible. I'm shocked. Why would there be more fraud, George?
But more fraud. And from where else? 8 Democratic states. They've been caught spending at least $1.8 billion on illegal aliens' health care. Now, we all said this. We talked about it. Just because you say, oh, the Fed are not doing health care yet. The states are doing it. And where are they getting a lot of the money from? The Feds. Your taxes, my taxes. Dr. Oz revealed this in a segment. I mean, here's $1.8 billion here. How much in Social Security with those collecting benefits? There's so much money being wasted. And now you want to know why they didn't want Doge.
Yeah.
Look at California. Did you see the government ordered California to pay back, I don't know how many billions because of money, because they spent used money for illegals when they shouldn't have?
I think all these states, if they can't handle it, they're going to have to figure out a way to cut them off. The point is they lied to you once again, said that these illegals weren't costing us billions and billions and billions of dollars. It was all part of the plan to destroy the country from within. And who's responsible? Majority of Congress and the Biden administration, because Congress holds the purse strings. They love to hold those purse strings. They love to remind us about it. I want to see arrests. When do I want to see them, George?
Now. Can I play the clip?
Yes.
By 8 states, not just California, on Medicaid funds for illegal immigrants. Dr. Oz talking a little bit at a press conference about this.
Very specifically in California, we've already identified about $1.3 billion of federal dollars spent to take care of illegal immigrants. The state is giving that money back. We will claw the rest of it, and we're continuing to audit quarterly the state Medicaid system to identify when patients who are legally here are taken care of without emergency situations. Emergencies are different, but when you come for elective hernia operations or dental cleaning, that's not going to be paid for by the federal taxpayer. It's not right. You don't want folks in one state paying for people in another state without them knowing about it and voting for it.
So, yeah, so Gavin Newsom came out and he said, well, Gavin Newsom has been cleaning house, says his office. He's blocked over $125 billion in fraud. I don't know where he got that number from. Arrested criminal parasites leeching off taxpayers and protected taxpayers from the exact kind of scam artist Trump celebrates, excuses and pardons.
Oh, really? Well, Dr. Oz was saying that, quote, we have witnessed a 7-fold increase in hospice in LA County. 7-fold. That doesn't happen naturally. There is not 7 times more deaths in LA County than there were 5 years ago. These are fraudsters, and these do tend to be foreign influences, either Russian or Armenian gangs, mafia, that are leading a lot of these efforts.
Guess what? I have some maybe frightening news for some, maybe for not others, but some of you people that are watching or in the chat, you should know about this. But get this. The Bank of England urged to plan for a financial crisis. Get this. Triggered by an official announcement confirming the existence of aliens and put contingencies in place to prevent collapse. I shit you not. This is real. No one talking about it. I've been dying to talk about this article. I know Lance has too, but because we had the interviews the last 2 days, we couldn't bring it up on the show.
But I don't, my thing is, why and George thinks it's because it'll cause people to panic. First of all, I'm not sure anybody's going to panic at this point about aliens. Maybe they will. But I think it's interesting that the Bank of England, that the UK monarchy, who I don't trust at all, especially when it comes to aliens, I have my own belief system about it. The fact that they're justifying that they're going to have a financial crisis, does that mean that they already have really a financial crisis? And they've been doing a good job of covering it up. And they're going to say that if the U.S., maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe the U.S. is going to finally come out and 100% acknowledge the existence, maybe the participation, maybe the involvement with aliens. I don't know. Is the Intergalactic Council going to be disclosed in some weird manner? I don't know. But I don't understand the UK bank. But this is their big concern. It's not a concern about the aliens. Their concern is, we're gonna go upside down if this happens. I don't know that there's going to be a run on the banks if they tell us aliens exist. I think a lot of people already believe that they do. So I don't know. This is an interesting story, interesting bank position. I don't trust the UK government. I never have, never will.
Me either. But you know what? Be prepared. It's going to happen sooner or later. Listen, we know there's aliens out there. We know Lance asked me this question. You think we'd go to collapse? Because people would freak out. Because there's so many people that say everything's conspiracy theories. It's like we keep saying, we told you so.
But I have to ask, do we really care if the Bank of England collapses? Does the American people give a shit? Does it affect us?
Yeah. Because
I don't know.
Yeah, because people here will freak out too.
I guess, but the Bank of England's concerned about themselves and collapsing. I don't really give a shit what happens to the Bank of England.
Doesn't matter. It's just a point of, I think a lot of people around the world would get freaked out. But you know what? Let's end on something nice, positive here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second Lady Usha Vance makes exciting announcement. Her and Vice President J.D. Vance are expecting baby number 4 is on the way. That's right. He was just on the other day saying he wants Americans to have more babies, and guess what? He's leading by example because she's actually
4 now, right? Isn't that the 4th?
Yeah, it's going to be the 4th. She's actually the first vice president's spouse to be pregnant while her husband's in office.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's good news. Good news for J.D. Vance. Congratulations to him and his family. I like J.D. I think he's doing a good job in the situation he's in. Appreciate him. All right, listen, if you like the show, thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. Do the $5 subscription. Thank the Big Mig Show. We love it. We love when you guys give subscriptions. We've had some of you do it this week. Thank you so very much for doing that. $5 a month. It's not very much, so throw us a bone. Hit us with a Rumble Rant tip. You can tip us in crypto. You can be the first person to tip us in crypto here on the Big Mig Show. You'll go down in history. You go down in infamy. And again, you can catch us here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. Crypto Power Hour. If you didn't catch it this morning, lots of great information. 7 a.m. on Wednesdays, 7 a.m. on Fridays. Great show, and the #1 crypto show based on views on Rumble. The Rumble people know it, but let them know if you like the shows, go over to Chris Pavlovsky on X. Jump in there and say, we love the Big Mig Show. We want to see more of them. And don't forget to send Pam Bondi that text. I put it in the chat. You can cut and paste it. I already sent mine. You should send yours. Get on it. Let's let her know how we feel. It's time for rest. It's time for him now. George, last words on the way out of gate. And by the way, George, one more time on that interview.
That's what I was going to bring it up. All right. So we have Jay Rosenthal. He's a child welfare consultant, former CPS investigator, and founder of Heartwork Defense. He's built an AI system to help, whether it be women or men struggling with family services, all kinds of stuff, abuse, anything. It's great. I don't want to go too much into it, but catch us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern for the great interview and learn. Later, Gators.
I might have to let it drop. Said gotta do it, hella big, had to put it back again, like said had to put it, hella big, had to put it.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA. The future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth. These canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.